The office of new defensive coordinator Christian Parker has become the epicenter of a relentless internal conflict, and the guidelines for finalizing the 2026 roster have buried any vestige of complacency in the Dallas Cowboys. The order echoing through the corridors of the Star in Frisco is aggressive and direct. The game plan will not tolerate athletes living off past reputations or isolated flashes in highlight reels. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers, and you can be part of this milestone. The analyst dissects the scenario with journalistic coldness, bringing to light the names that cross the danger line and now head the definitive make-or-break list for the franchise. The bar for the season has been set high, pushing players into a fierce battle for playing time. There is no more room for medical excuses or slow learning of tactical calls. Dallas's management and scouts have set an ambitious goal for the coaching staff, demanding that the roster deliver a compact, aggressive unit capable of comfortably finishing in the top half of the league standings. Anyone who shows hesitation at the first signs of physical exertion during the offseason will be summarily removed from the payroll or thrown into the transfer market before the end of August. The rebuilding machine has begun to spin without brakes. The atmosphere in the locker room is one of pure tension, and the price to wear the Lone Star on the helmet has never been higher than now. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers, and you can be part of this milestone. In the eye of this tactical hurricane that is redefining the course of the secondary emerges cornerback Kalen Carson. The young defender has become the center of intense and positive buzz behind the scenes during the last weeks of the offseason, earning praise from the coaching staff for his physical dedication. However, the media's optimism clashes with an unpalatable reality, full of reservations in the journalist's analysis. The fan needs to see this production translate into real impact on the field. Carson boasts rare flashes of talent in his resume, such as the solid game he delivered against the Cleveland Browns back in 2024. But his trajectory in Dallas is marked by chronic inconsistency and repeated medical problems that have hampered his natural development. The great dilemma surrounding the athlete in Frisco points directly to his mental health and competitive stability on the field. To survive the stressful cornerback position in the NFL requires a level of psychological confidence bordering on reckless audacity, a virtue Carson seems to have lost after suffering repeated punishment from opposing wide receivers in deep coverage. The year 2026 is shaping up to be the absolute limit for the player. If he doesn't master individual coverage in training, management won't hesitate to pursue a 7th-round pick in the market or release him to another franchise's practice squad. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers, and you can be part of this milestone. While Kalen Carson struggles to rebuild his self-confidence on the flanks, the backfield presents an equally complex contractual and positioning puzzle involving safety Marquise Bell. The defender experienced the peak of his NFL career playing out of position as an agile linebacker under former coordinator Dan Quinn, delivering a physicality that delighted analysts. The scenario changed drastically with the arrival of Mike Zimmer's old system, where Bell never managed to demonstrate comfort running deep zone coverage or patrolling the backfield. Christian Parker inherited the dilemma of defining the athlete's real usefulness in the 2026 primary rotation. From a strictly financial standpoint, Bell's contract has a structure tailored to make him a valuable bargain, weighing in at just $2.83 million against this year's salary cap, with a projected jump to $3.63 million the following season. However, the financial engineering hides a dangerous trigger. Cutting the safety at this moment would generate more dead money losses than keeping him anchored in the supporting cast. The coaching staff faces the challenge of deciphering whether Bell has the tools to evolve beyond the label of an elite special teams worker, to establish himself as a hybrid element in Dallas's modern defense. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers, and you can be part of this milestone. Tensions are running high in the Cowboys management offices as executives weigh long-term planning for the 2027 season against the financial constraints of the current roster. Marquise Bell's contract was meticulously crafted by the front office to make him a stable, future safety net, allowing the team to absorb the financial impact of more expensive secondary players. However, this roster planning logic crumbles if he remains stuck as the 4th or 5th choice safety, positioned just behind the immediate impact Caleb Downs promises in his hybrid nickel role. If Bell fails to secure a spot in Parker's exotic lineups, the front office will have to swallow its pride and make him an obvious off-season cut candidate, accepting the financial loss. The coaching staff is caught between the need to provide developmental snaps for rookies and the obligation to justify the multi-million-dollar investments made in the salary cap. Every decision made in the boardrooms in Frisco carries a double weight, fixing the immediate holes that cost dearly in past postseasons and ensuring that the franchise's financial health isn't strangled by contracts with players who deliver only peripheral production on game days. The critical breaking point in Dallas's defense lies in an invisible vulnerability that threatens to destroy Christian Parker's game plan: the widespread collapse of psychological confidence in the backcourt. The analyst exposes an open wound by drawing a surgical parallel between the recent downfalls of Kalen Carson and the once solid Darren Bland. The loss of emotional stability and hesitation in the face of aggressive roots were the real fuels for the blackouts that turned the Cowboys' secondary into an easy target last season. When a cornerback enters the field fearing error, the tactical scheme automatically collapses, regardless of the brilliance of the coordinator on the sideline. Carson and Bell demonstrated this exact lethargy when exposed in long vertical coverages, appearing disconnected from the most basic pass readings. The confrontation in the trenches of training camp will be the true litmus test to map out who possesses the armored mentality necessary to withstand the pressure of America's team. If the coaching staff fails to recapture the instinctive aggression of their replacement players and stem the bleeding of mental errors on third downs, Dallas's defensive system will be doomed to be crushed by rival quarterbacks in the NFC East, turning the promising 2026 season into a repetitive scenario of frustrations. The consequences of how these gears fit together on the field will dictate the economic future of the linebacker unit. With DeMarvion Overshown as the key player in the entire organization, the coaching staff and analysts agree that the ideal scenario for the Cowboys requires Overshown to definitively assume absolute leadership of the tactical setup, green dot, remaining healthy throughout all 17 games of the regular season. If, when exposed in long vertical coverages, appearing disconnected from the most basic pass readings, the confrontation in the trenches of training camp will be the true litmus test to map out who possesses the armored mentality necessary to withstand the pressure of America's team. If the coaching staff fails to recapture the instinctive aggression of their replacement players and stem the bleeding of mental errors on third downs, Dallas's defensive system will be doomed to be crushed by rival quarterbacks in the NFC East, turning the promising 2026 season into a repetitive scenario of frustrations. The consequences of how these gears fit together on the field will dictate the economic future of the linebacker unit. With DeMarvion Overshown as the key player in the entire organization, the coaching staff and analysts agree that the ideal scenario for the Cowboys requires Overshown to definitively assume absolute leadership of the tactical setup, green dot, remaining healthy throughout all 17 games of the regular season. If,